little clips like you see how like man him was talking and then somebody else talked like his crew.
Mm-hmm.
That's what get me up. Like that's what make me like I always want to prove to somebody that I'm like.
Time is ticking, but it might be ticking for Keyshawn Roach faster than it is for the rest of us. Roach is about to step into the ring against an undefeated boxer with 28 knockouts. Widely recognized as the face of boxing, the man who has already beaten him twice. And even if the psychological pressure of facing Tank isn't enough, Tank has been fueling the fire with his brief but cutting warnings.
Now I promise you, you better lead them home. You better lead the females home. On my mother, you better lead the females home and the kids. On my mother. Yeah, now watch this. Now watch.
Roach might be confident in his skills, saying none of this threatens him. But deep down he knows he could be the 29th knockout on Tank's resume. Tank made that clear again during another moment from the recent press conference, saying, I say in round what?
What? I say 9th round.
You said 9th?
Yeah.
What's your response to that, Lamont?
Look, he got scared. Look. He looked at 9th.
I'm telling you, you saying you going.
While some boxing fans may not see this fight as a blockbuster event, a noteworthy number of insiders believe Keyshawn Roach could be the perfect opponent to test Davis. Known as the Reaper, Roach has built a reputation as a fighter capable of surprising his opponents with both power and skill, something Tank himself has acknowledged. There's even talk that Roach could pull off a massive upset. If that happens though, it's a big if it would send shockwaves through the boxing world, significantly boosting Roach's career while putting a damper on Davis's final chapter.
He took this fight for the naysayers and all this and all the people talk about the fight. I think he actually took the fight because he know that I'm a dog and he want to prove his skills against a dog. So I'm gonna show y'all what happens when two dogs.
This fight hasn't come together easily. There were numerous delays leading up to the announcement, testing fans' patience and fueling speculation that the fight might never happen. At one point, Tank even went as far as to announce that the fight had been canceled, much to the disappointment of boxing fans worldwide. However, things have since settled, and both fighters are now deep into preparation mode. They're training hard, focusing on their game plans, and gearing up for what is shaping up to be one of the most highly anticipated bouts of the year. But even with the fight officially back on, Davis couldn't resist stirring up some heat. He recently posted a cryptic message on X, leaving fans both worried and confused.
Big bro coming out with the upset. A lot of people are going to pick Tank going into that fight, but how do you see that playing out?
I see my brother walking out victorious. No, there's no doubt. Not because that's my brother, but because I seen him.
Davis's post on X read, "Fighting for my life." Those four words immediately caught the attention of his millions of followers, sparking a storm of speculation. What exactly did he mean by that? Was he referring to a personal struggle, such as mental health issues? Or was he talking about the intensity of his training camp and how much this fight means to him? The ambiguity left fans scrambling for answers. During the recent press conference leading up to the fight, Davis shed some light on what he's been going through. He opened up about how the demands of boxing have taken a toll on his mental well-being. "Boxing's been my life, but it's weighing heavy on me now. I'm thinking more about my family than the ring these days," he admitted. For years, Davis has been seen as one of the toughest fighters in the game, but even the strongest champions have their breaking points. His honesty struck a chord with many fans who understand just how much pressure comes with being at the top of the sport.
Overall, being something that he's not been in the ring with. I'm the total package, and honestly, sometimes I think he doubts himself. But I'm a competitor, and I feel like I'm the best. So I'm a show up.
When he talks about you not bringing your family, what goes through your mind when you hear him say?
In the hours following his cryptic post, Davis's social media comments were flooded with messages from concerned fans. One fan wrote, "That sounds scary," capturing the general unease many felt after seeing the tweet. Another fan tried to offer encouragement, writing, "Keep fighting, champ," in hopes of lifting Davis's spirits. These types of supportive comments have become common whenever Davis shares something deeply personal, as his fan base has developed a close bond with him over the years. They've witnessed his highs and lows and are now rallying behind him once again. Another fan echoed what many were thinking, writing, "Damn, that's cryptic." The vagueness of Davis's message left a lot of room for interpretation, and many fans couldn't help but wonder what he was really trying to say. Was it a warning that something was wrong, or was it just a reflection of his determination to give his all in this fight? Whatever the case, fans were left on edge, eager for more information. One fan, showing genuine concern for Davis's well-being, wrote, "Stay safe, champ," followed by a second comment, "Keep going."
Roach is a terrific fighter. He might be a little over his head with Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is, to say the least, he's a beast. He really is. He's a tremendous fighter.
Despite all the speculation, Davis didn't let the conversation linger in uncertainty for too long. Shortly after posting his cryptic message, he shared another update. For weeks away, this short and direct statement seemed to indicate that Davis was fully focused on the upcoming fight, whatever emotional or mental hurdles he may be dealing with. He appears ready to channel that energy into his performance in the ring. This fight carries added significance because Davis has already announced that 2025 will be his final year in the sport. That means every fight from now on is part of his farewell tour. Fans are expecting Davis to go out on a high note, and he seems determined to leave behind a legacy that cements his place among the greats. This could be one of his last chances to prove himself, and he's preparing to give it everything he's got.
It's the wrestling fight, you understand? Because Roach he come to fight, and I think it's a great fight. Everybody talking all that stuff about, oh, why Roach? Because he signed and took the fight, you know what I'm saying? And it's good for the community.
The tension between Davis and Keyshawn Roach reached a boiling point during the press conference for the fight as the two fighters traded verbal jabs. Davis suddenly exploded with an intense warning directed at his opponent. "I will tear you apart," he shouted, making it clear that he had no intention of taking this fight lightly. This outburst wasn't just trash talk, it was a declaration of war. Roach, however, was not intimidated. "You've been running scared for months now. It's time to back those words up," Roach responded with equal intensity. The exchange showcased just how personal this fight has become. Davis, known for his fiery temperament, is clearly feeling the pressure, but Roach is determined to prove that he's not just another name on Davis's resume.
Beat his ass for y'all talking. For real. So I better be quiet.
I don't give a fuck if y'all was
all
quiet,
that ski
y'all was-
mask and
if y'all
all
was
that.
loud,
They got
y'all
the
was
hood
fucking
over
talking
there. Like,
The press conference ended without any physical altercations, but the verbal battle left a lasting impression. Fans and analysts are now more excited than ever to see how this fight will play out. Will Davis's anger translate into a dominant performance, or will Roach use that emotion against him? The mental game is just as important as the physical one, and both fighters are playing it to perfection. Throughout his career, Davis has built a loyal fan base that has stood by him. Through thick and thin, they've seen him rise to fame with knockout victories and watched as he navigated personal struggles outside the ring. This latest saga is just another chapter in Davis's complex story, and his fans are ready to support him every step of the way.
No one's been able to solve Tank Davis. What do you need to do together with you and your team and obviously your son to score that victory?
We got a game plan. We're going to execute it, and we're going to get the
Move
results.
that head, bob and weave, bob and weave.
One fan, expressing confidence in Davis's ability to overcome any obstacle, wrote, "Tank's been through worse. He'll come out of this stronger." Another added, "This fight's going to be special. You can see it in his eyes." These comments reflect the deep connection Davis has with his fans. They don't just see him as a boxer, they see him as a fighter in every sense of the word. With less than 4 weeks until fight night, anticipation for the bout is heating up. The battle is set for March 1st at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, and both fighters are ramping up the intensity. Training videos and bold statements have only added fuel to the fire. However, despite all the hype, not everyone is convinced this fight will deliver what fans truly want. Could it be that this is just another match aimed at keeping Davis busy rather than pushing him to his limits?
Hey, can you see who it is? Yeah. Who is the dude? Who is the dude?
And that right there is why Gervonta.
Keyshawn Roach Jr. recently made waves with his confident prediction of an upset. After Premier Boxing Champions posted a promotional clip of Davis on Instagram, Roach Ray shared it with the caption, "Upset alert. This bold claim has stirred up debate in the boxing community. Roach's record stands at an impressive 25-1 with 10 KOs. And while he's earned respect in the super featherweight division, he has yet to face an opponent of Davis's caliber. Roach's TKO victory over FALMCC demonstrated his ability to dominate in the ring, but facing Davis at lightweight is a different challenge altogether. Many fans view Davis as a knockout machine, with his most recent victory coming via an 8th-round stoppage of Frank Martin in June. Davis's knockout power has been consistent for over a decade, and few fighters have managed to survive the full distance against him. Despite these odds, Roach seems undeterred. His confidence has sparked questions about whether he knows something the rest of the world doesn't. Could his team have identified a weakness in Davis's style or conditioning, or is Roach simply trying to get inside Davis's head? A training clip of Davis recently surfaced online, showing him working on his hand speed with trainer Patrice Buharis. While the video quickly went viral, the reactions were mixed. Some fans praised Davis's rapid uppercuts and intensity, while others expressed disappointment. Critics pointed out that Davis appeared slower than usual, with some even suggesting that Shocker Stevenson would easily outmatch him in a speed contest.
Would you be content if you won this and that's your last fight? Or nah, still some more heads you gotta put on the wall?
Yeah, definitely some more heads to put on the wall for sure. But
there was also backlash against the fight itself, with many fans questioning why Davis was facing Roach instead of taking on bigger names, like Shocker Stevenson, Devin Haney, or Vasyl Lomachenko. One vocal fan commented, "This isn't the fight we wanted. Tank should be challenging himself, not taking easy fights." One key factor in this matchup is the weight difference. Davis is a natural lightweight, while Roach competes in the super featherweight division. Moving up in weight could put Roach at a disadvantage, as Davis is known for his power and ability to absorb punches. However, Roach's speed and agility could help neutralize Davis's strengths. If Roach can avoid Davis's power shots and control the pace of the fight, an upset might not be as far-fetched as it seems.
It's gonna be a party on your floor.
I'm gonna let y'all know something. His father was up here shaking on the what's the name? He was shaking on the
Thank everybody that played a part in it. My team, Roberto Diaz, Gary Jonas.
On my kids, he was shaking on this thing. On my kids, he was shaking. How you gonna say it's cap? And it gotta be. You gonna say it's cap? I'm watching it. Gotta be.
Davis is no stranger to criticism, but the pressure is mounting for him to take on more challenging opponents. Fans want to see him in marquee matchups against fighters like Stevenson, Haney, or Keyshawn Davis. Anything less feels like a missed opportunity. With Davis in the prime of his career, every fight counts, and fans are growing tired of matches that feel more like placeholders than genuine tests. That said, it's worth considering whether Davis's camp is playing the long game by keeping him active. With fights like this, they may be preserving his longevity in the sport. Still, boxing is as much about legacy as it is about wins, and Davis's legacy won't be cemented until he faces the best of the best.
I know Lamont Roach, but when you look at Shakur Stevenson, when you're looking at these other fights that he should really be fighting, he don't want to do them fights. He wants to retire.
Yeah.
So don't come and but don't come and come at me.
Yeah.
And go, oh yeah.
For Keyshawn Roach Jr., this fight is the opportunity of a lifetime. A victory over Gervonta Tank Davis would catapult him into superstardom and open the door to bigger paydays and title opportunities. Roach's confidence, combined with his solid boxing fundamentals, makes him a dangerous opponent. If he can weather Davis's early onslaught and take the fight into the later rounds, anything is possible. Kenny Ellis, Gervonta Davis's coach, made it clear that he stands behind his fighter's choice to face Roach. For the WBA lightweight title defense, Ellis has faced backlash for defending the matchup, with many fans criticizing it as another example of Tank avoiding high-risk fights. While Ellis praised Roach's pedigree, fans remain skeptical, seeing the fight as another safe, uninspired matchup. Ellis insists Roach is a tough, skilled fighter, but some fans aren't buying it. One of Ellis's key points is Roach's amateur pedigree. According to him, Roach is a 7-time national champion, which is impressive on paper. However, that amateur success hasn't fully translated to the professional level. Roach's record is respectable, but not stellar. His loss to Jamal Herring a few years back, along with a razor-thin win over Hector Luis Garcia, a fighter Tank knocked out with ease, raised serious questions about Roach's ability to compete at Tank's level. Critics argue that Ellis might be inflating Roach's reputation to make the fight seem more competitive than it actually is.
When they start talking, when the people who I fight, when they start talking, that's when y'all get dumb. I'm gonna beat his ass.
He can't do shit.
For real, y'all better be quiet.
I don't give a fuck if y'all is quiet.
Fans aren't just frustrated with the choice of Roach, they're fed up with the pattern. Throughout Tank's career, he's often been accused of fighting opponents who are smaller, less powerful, or simply not on his level. Critics argue that Tank should be facing top-tier lightweights like Andy Cruz, Raymond Morala, William Zappa, Edwin De Los Santos, Floyd Scofie, and Keyshawn Davis. Many of these fighters have called out Tank or expressed interest in a fight. Ellis, however, insists that Tank isn't ducking anyone, suggesting that other fighters either price themselves out or turn Tank down. Yet, fans aren't convinced. After all, Tank is a superstar in the sport, and there's no shortage of boxers who would jump at the opportunity to share the ring with him.
I'm gonna beat his ass if y'all talking. Y'all better be quiet.
Ellis's comments about the sparring history between Tank and Roach also raise eyebrows. He mentioned that the two fought and sparred several times as amateurs. With Tank coming out on top, Ellis seems to downplay the importance of sparring sessions and insists that Tank's past opponents often claim to have bested him in sparring, only to lose decisively on fight night. However, bringing up these old sparring stories does little to excite fans about this matchup. It may even reinforce the idea that Tank's team is prioritizing familiarity and safety over real challenges. Ellis also touched on Tank's mindset heading into this fight, claiming that Tank just loves to fight and doesn't care whether the bouts are against marquee names or lesser-known opponents.
What? Who said that? You said what? You said what? Yeah, that's why I've been waiting for the niggas to talk. How much you want back? How much you want to bet? Because I came up here alone. How much y'all want back? How much you want?
Ellis seemed indifferent when discussing the possibility of fights against Shocker Stevenson or Vasyl Lomachenko, saying that if those guys choose to fight him one day, they can get it. But if not, life goes on. This casual attitude is frustrating to fans who want to see Tank take on legacy-defining fights. Ellis's remarks suggest that they're content with keeping Tank busy, rather than pushing him toward greatness. Some fans and analysts believe Kenny Ellis is simply trying to sell a fight nobody really wants. If Ellis were honest about the fan backlash, it might show that they're aware of the criticism. Instead, he's leaning heavily on Roach's amateur accolades and making excuses about other fighters not being available. To some, this comes off as damage control rather than genuine confidence in the matchup.
Would you consider you and Gervonta friends?
Friends, probably.
Is it going to be hard to go in the ring and fight your friend?
Not at all.
Are you all going to be friends after?
Yeah, why not?
Either way it goes.
Both making money.
But you guys are making each other bleed.
Hopefully I just make him.
One of the most contentious points is Ellis's insistence that Tank is not at fault for the perceived lack of quality opponents. Ellis repeatedly emphasized that Tank's team tried to secure bigger fights, but was unsuccessful due to opponents' high demands. However, boxing insiders and fans alike have questioned how true this really is. Some of the names Tank could be fighting, like Andy Cruz and Keyshawn Davis, are up-and-coming stars who would likely take any offer to fight Tank. Others, like Raymond Morala and William Zappa, have also been on impressive runs and could easily be positioned as credible challengers. The fact that none of these fighters were chosen raises the question, are Tank and his team intentionally cherry-picking easier opponents?
Here's my take on the fight. Everything is true about this situation. One, Gervonta Tank Davis was being ducked leading up to this. Shakur Stevenson.
Fans want to see Tank fight the best, plain and simple. His talent and knockout power are undeniable, but his resume has been criticized for lacking marquee wins over elite competition. A fighter like Shocker Stevenson or Vasyl Lomachenko would represent a huge challenge and could potentially elevate Tank's career to another level. However, as long as fights like the one against Lamont Roach Jr. keep getting made, Fans will continue to wonder whether Tank is avoiding the toughest competition. Ultimately, Kenny Ellis's defense of this fight hasn't done much to change the public perception. While he may genuinely believe in Roach's abilities, the fight feels underwhelming compared to what fans were hoping for.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's going to go. Tank going to be losing the first 3 rounds. Then he's going to download the data. Then he going to knock this dude out in round 7 or 8. Then he going to do the backflip. Then Jim Gray's going to get in the ring, or Caleb Plants Hawaii, and say, who do you want next? And Tank's going to say, I want all those guys. And they're going to go to the press conference, and Elliot Setback's going to say, who do you want next? He say, I want.
Ellis's comments about fighters pricing themselves out or turning Tank down may have some truth, but they also come across as excuses. Tank is a star with the ability to draw huge pay-per-view audiences, and there's no shortage of opponents willing to step up for a shot at him. Fans will continue demanding more, and if fights like this continue, Tank's legacy could take a hit. At the end of the day, Ellis's job is to protect and promote his fighter, but in doing so, he may be inadvertently highlighting exactly what fans are upset about: the lack of risk, the lack of marquee matchups, and the constant search for safer, easier fights. If Tank Davis truly wants to silence his critics and solidify his place as one of the best in the sport, he'll need to start taking on the fights fans actually want to see. Until then, comments like Ellis's will only fuel the narrative that Tank is playing it safe. That said, boxing is unpredictable. Roach has the skills to make this fight more competitive than people expect, and if Davis comes in underprepared or overconfident, an upset could be on the horizon. Whether this fight ends up being a showcase for Davis or the start of a new chapter for Roach, one thing is certain: March 1st will be a night to remember. What do you think? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.